Hey guys, my name is Heather Lindsey.
And my name is Cornelius Lindsey.
And I'm so excited that you landed on Life with the Lindseys.
This is so exciting. This gives us an opportunity to share our life with yours.
Yes, we're going to be talking about everything from entrepreneurship to ministry to your purpose to why you are here, family, parenting, relationships, marriage, sex, you name it. We are talking about it.
So thank you so much for joining us today with Life with the Lindseys. Enjoy it.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, y'all?
This is Cornelius Lindsey.
What's up? And I'm Heather Lindsey.
And we're here with another episode of Life with the Lindseys.
It's weird to hold this.
Yeah, it is weird, but we're doing something new. So y'all rocking with us like we're taking y'all on a tour of everything, pretty much.
Right.
But nevertheless, what you want to talk about today?
We didn't talk about that.
Do we ever talk about what we're going to talk about? This, okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, for real. If y'all been rocking with us, then one thing y'all should know is that this is like real life for us.
It's real life.
This is real life for us. Like, we're not just doing a doggone podcast. This is real life. And I don't know how many couples are out there who, like, y'all don't ever have a clue, like, really what y'all going to do. Like, you know, when we go to restaurants or something like that, like, we really never know where we're going to go eat. At least I have an idea where I want to go eat.
I always know where I want to eat. I just know you don't want to eat there.
I mean, because, you know, your restaurants are like, you know, fully vegan.
Fully vegan.
And mine not vegan.
Remember the one we went to last week?
Oh my gosh.
You hated it.
It was like,
rough.
you know, the food is like,
it's all from scratch, y'all.
But you paying like $18 for that pizza.
You spent a lot of money. I felt bad.
The pizza, there was like this little small pizza, and I get it. You know, it was all from scratch. It had no gluten in it. It was, I get it.
It was so healthy, pizza. You guys.
But it was like, I'm just like, I paid all this money for this pizza, and it's still in the fridge.
Yeah,
it's legit. Like, I legit.
Did you like the pepperoni?
No.
Okay. I think I know what we should talk about.
What should we talk about?
So I had my matchmaking this week. So I was interviewing you guys. Listen, and if you're watching on YouTube, I feel like the lighting in this room, because we don't actually have our lights up, it's really making me not look tan. Like, I'm much tanner than I am.
She's much tanner than she.
So,
I'm tan.
I know I want to tan. So I was interviewing one of these girls to be matched, right? And so she was saying, you know, she was over 30, and she was saying, you know, she's happy with being single. She's totally content. And she was, I could feel that about her. She was very happy about like where she was in life. But what was interesting to me is that I said, all right, well, tell me about your past relationships and why they ended. And her issue in past relationships is if the minute she sees one red flag, she's gone. I mean, gone.
So the title of this podcast is Red Flags?
Red Flags, because...
Red Flags.
Right. So listen to what one of her red flags were. One of her red flags was they were talking about finances, and he actually brought up the conversation, and she was like, oh, do you have stocks, or do you have a budget on Mint? And he was like, no, that's your thing. That's not my thing. She's like, what you're not going to do is talk to me like this. And that's it.
Wow.
It was over. Her relationship was over. And then the other one, she wasn't sure, like, he was traveling a lot, and she wasn't sure if there was like other women in the background, like if he was committed. I was like, oh, did you ask him? She said, no, I just cut him off. So my thing is this, and this is what I shared with her. And I said, nobody's going to be ready-made. There's no such thing as like the perfect person. I feel like you have to work through life with this person to become and to have a great relationship. But if you give up the minute you see a red flag, you will be single your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true, right? And I mean, we had a really great conversation, and I'm actually trying to match her because she's a really great girl. Very content, very strong. But I wanted to encourage her to have the mindset of gracing whoever and just being open to who they are. Because think in 10 or 20, 30 years, you're still going to see something you don't like about that person.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
I think a lot of singles, and I think a lot of married people too, right now see this, and that is when you marry somebody, you marry their good, their bad, and their ugly.
Yeah.
You marry their past, their present, and their future. And I think that for a lot of singles, it's very scary, which is why a lot of single people just stay married and why a lot of married people just get a divorce. Because it's like, hey, we found ourselves in a really rough time right now. And, you really have to ask yourself the question, is this something I still want to do? So I was at one of my pastor things, pastor retreats, and I thought it was really cool. So one of the pastors, or the head guy, he was talking about the scripture in Ephesians. It says that we should bear with each other in brotherly love. And that same word, to bear with, also means to put up with.
That's good. That's good.
When he said that, I think everybody at the table was like, "Oh, like, where you going with this?"
Right.
Hold up.
I gotta put up with my spouse.
What you mean? I gotta put up with? I gotta put up. We was all like, Pastor missed it. He missed it.
Right.
False prophet. Repent.
Right.
But we were like, hold up. Like, let's really look at this. And he was like, it's like it's great Christianese, church, to say, well, I can bear with some things. I will be willing to bear with some things, but it's not as Christianese to say, oh, I can put up with that. Because in our society, what we say is, I can't put up with that. Like, I shouldn't have to put up with that. I should have to put up with that. And granted, there are many things that you should not put up with, granted. But there are just some things that I think that we become so sensitive to that we make red flags out of that are not necessarily red flags. Those are just things that we're just not mature enough to be able to handle. And maybe if we grow up a little bit, if we become mature, then it's like, you know what, that's not that big of a deal. And I'm making a bigger deal out of something that is not as big of a deal. So I thought that was very interesting. So even talking about red flags and what that looks like, it's like, man, well, I'm dating this person, and I see some things that I may not like, and I really want to ask myself the question: can I put up with this? Because here's the thing: if it's not that, it's going to be something else. Then if you meet somebody else, it's going to be something else. You meet somebody else, it's going to be something else. You meet somebody else, it's going to be something else. Yeah. So when you want to get married to somebody, it's like, it's not just, am I having fun in this season, but it's like, man, can I endure? Am I really ready to put up with this? And that's the reason why I think wedding vows are so important. This is, or are you willing to be there through the good and the bad? I forgot how it is. For better or for worse.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness or in health.
But for richer, for poor.
But think about it. We want richer, we want health, and we want better.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
We don't want worse. We don't want poorer. And we doggone sure don't want sickness, or poor. I should turn it around. We maybe can deal with sickness. We maybe can deal with worse. We definitely don't want broke, poor. I don't know about all
I'm gone.
I can't. I don't have to put up with that. And I think that now, I think that's why a lot of people are still single. A lot of married people are no longer married because they've come up to themselves and just say, you know what? I'm not gonna put up with that.
Yeah.
And so they said, they were willing to end a good thing prematurely because they never gave it a chance to grow.
Wow. It's almost like, are your expectations too high? Right? But then, and as you're talking, it made me think, I remember when I was single and I created my list of everything I'd wanted in a man, right? Created my whole list. And now, 15 years later, if I were to write that list, it would totally change after being married. I just want somebody that's graceful, that's kind, affectionate and loving. That's it. And before, you're like, he need to have a 6-pack. He needs to work out. He needs to do this. He needs to be debt free. It's like you have this idea. And I feel like, and I'm so glad that we got married before social media blew up, because I just feel like on social media, you have all these gurus on there telling you what you need to do, what you don't need to handle. And then at the same time, they're not living the very lifestyle that they're declaring that you need to live.
Or they're multiple time divorced, or they're, it's like, are you sure you want to take this advice?
Exactly. Because it's just like, for me, the proof is in the pudding. Marriage is hard. You know what I mean? And people have to have the mindset when I'm going into marriage that I'm going to fight for this and I'm going to work for it. Yeah. But I believe it takes two people to tango.
It does.
And I can say this, as much as it sucks, as much as I've hated our arguments and our lowest moments and our hard times, I feel like we both learn quickly, bounce back, adjust, grow, and change as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, and although it's hard and it's a rough road sometimes, I just feel like we've gotten better through the hard times, you know?
That's the thing. I don't think we give ourselves an opportunity to go through the hard times. We don't give ourselves an opportunity to see, okay, what could be on the other side of this? And because that requires work. And I mean, speaking from personal experience.
You got to talk about that work because people don't like work, babe.
Well, I mean, speaking from, and I'll talk about it right after this.
Okay. Y'all, the times are over for banks that charge monthly fees.
Oh my gosh,
you could save so much money. Think about it. Most of them charge like $12 to $15 a month. Could you imagine?
It's insane. It's insane.
A month. You imagine how much money they're making? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why we love Chime.
Yeah.
Because your bank account should work for you, not against you. Now, Chime is an award-winning app and debit card with no hidden fees or monthly premium. Isn't that great?
That's great.
I just feel like if we make our money, we should keep it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, this is great for anybody who's looking for fee-free overdraft on up to $100 in debit charges with SpotMe. It's like overdraft protection, but it's better. You know, you get your paycheck, your benefits, your stimulus check. Everybody, we get people getting their stimmies. Going to put your stimmy in there, put your tax return in there, up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit. No hidden fees or monthly minimums, plus 38,000 fee-free ATMs with Money Pass and Visa Plus Alliance. So here's the thing, y'all. Join the millions on Chime. Sign up takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. You can apply at chime.com/LWTL. That's Chime, CHIME.com/LWTL. Chime is a financial technology company. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Overdraft only applies to a debit card purchase. Limits start at $20 and may be increased up to $100 by Chime. Early direct deposit depends on the payer. Out-of-network cash withdrawal fees do apply. Third-party and cash deposit fees may also apply. Go to chime.com/LWTL for details. I mean, you know, honestly speaking from personal experience, it's like it is easier to run away from something than it is to face it head on. But you don't change something by running from it. You have to face it. And when you are seeking to, okay, am I going to make this relationship work? Then I have to face it, or I can just run from it. But the problem is you're going to be running for the rest of your life because you're running from what it is that you just refuse to face. And one day you have to turn around to face what it is that you keep running from. I think a lot of singles, like you said earlier, they are looking for something. Even married folk, they're looking for something. Yeah, for sure. They're looking for something else. And it's like, okay, so what else am I looking for? And I think really answering that question, that could be a very good question for people to answer. Like, what am I looking for? I'm in the same boat with you. Before I was married, I had idea of like, okay, this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted, this is what I want, all these things I wanted. But then I'm like, now that I'm married, if I knew what I knew now, I go back and I'm like, I don't want that list.
What would your list be now?
Well, I think it would have matched yours. I thought yours was great. I mean, number one, graceful, loving, kind, fun, non-judgmental, just like, you know, just really, I don't know, just like a really, you know, dope, safe place. Like that would just be it. Because legit, like that's all, I think that's all a lot of us want. We want to feel secure and we want to have that safe place.
I agree. Like, I think every marriage, every couple wants that safe place to know where it's just you guys against the whole world, right? But you're going to have to work to grow to that place. Yeah. Like, I feel like people see people's marriages online and they were like relationship goals, but they worked really hard to get to that place, right?
Even if you don't even know what place they're at. That's just a nice picture, bro.
Come on.
That's a nice picture, bro. That's a nice picture of them with their family, bro. But like you don't know where they are. So I'm like, you cannot base somebody's story or base your story on somebody else's. Like I've seen that so many times. Like I've seen.
And then they get disappointed. Like, oh, relationships don't work because somebody's relationship fell apart.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one time we got in a really bad fight that shook our whole marriage, and I didn't think we were going to make it. It was like year 4. I want to say year 4 because I remember Logan was very small. And I remember we went on a date day later that week after the storm passed. And I remember I was preparing to post the photo, and I remember putting like reality or highlight reel. Highlight reel, I'm so excited for my date day with my hubby. This is so great. But then I put underneath that, I put reality. Our marriage almost didn't make it past this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people just don't understand. Like people are showing you guys the good. We're not coming on our podcast and showing you guys our fight. Like y'all don't see that. So don't idolize even our relationship and say, oh, I want that. You have relationship goals. You have no idea like what we've gone through.
Because you got to get in that house and do it yourself. Like you have to build
It's work.
It's work. It's hard as hell too. I'm gonna go on and say it. 'Cause I can say it. My wife ain't gonna never say it.
I'm not gonna say that.
And I got braids now. Like if y'all listen to it, y'all can't hear it. But if y'all on the YouTube though, then y'all can see my braids.
I'm just thankful you didn't get the dookie braids.
The dookie braids.
I like these braids. I don't like the dookie braids.
They're not doing dookie braids. So those are the Pop Smoke braids. So I kind of
There's a name.
I kind of went to. You don't know Pop Smoke? Come on, baby. Don't do
Wait.
That. Pop Smoke is a rapper.
Pop Smoke is not a name of a braid?
R.I.P. I mean, right now it's like a different, it's like a brand. So the first time I got my hair braided, I got the Pop Smoke braids. But this time I was like,
and if you're on our Patreon, you saw it.
If you're on our Patreon, then the picture is on our Patreon. So
just don't share it, please, on social media. Please.
Praise the Lord. But I had the Pop Smoke braids, but then now I have the Nipsey Hussle. I was like, just give me the Nipsey Hussle braids. So that's what she did, except mine are not as that. I mean, this is all my hair, so she didn't have to add any kind of hair because I wasn't doing that.
Your hair's really thick.
It's really thick.
Did it hurt?
It's really long. I mean, I think in the beginning, the first day I was sitting there, I was like, I see why women be patting your head. Like, and I'm like, this kind of tight. And then a couple times I was like trying to get my eyes together. I think I kind of looked excited a lot.
She pulled everything
pulling everything back. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to just walk around like this all day. Right. So it was something. But right now, I think I've kind of settled into it. My forehead isn't as stretched out. But right now, it's kind of cool. But nonetheless, I'm just going to go back to my point. And that is that, building that marriage or building that kind of relationship that you want, it can be difficult, especially when you see certain things, you're like, well, I don't want to put up with that. I don't have to put up with that. It's almost like you have to ask yourself the question, like, well, can you? And I think that's important for people to hear and for people to know.
And then you have to go look in the mirror and say, can they put up with me?
Jesus.
Because it's
Father.
But it's true. It's not just one way. It takes two to tango in marriage, right? And both sides come with trauma and hard times, and man, they both come with mess, right? And baggage and everything. So it's like, it's very easy to look at somebody else and say, well, I'm not putting up with that. But it's like, they put up with you. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways. I think just having a good foundation is a great place to start. And that's just putting your hope in the Lord and trusting Him and believing that He can help you. He created marriage. He created relationships. So being equally yoked and stuff like that is important. But even if you're married and not equally yoked, I don't want you to hear this and say, well, I need to just end my marriage, because you can still have a healthy, happy marriage as well. I believe if you are unequally yoked and already married, and you know what the Bible says about that. It says, win them over with your quiet and gentle spirit. And that just means win them over with your influence. But I think that we're a generation that saw our parents put in work, and we don't want to be them. We don't want to, well, mom and dad stay together, but they ain't happy. So.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that you look at mom and dad as doing, and you think, well, mom and dad did that, but I don't want what mom and dad had. I want something that's going to be better. Yeah. But what you don't realize is that what mom and dad had, it may not be better for you, but it was righteous for them. You know what I mean? Because it was like, mom and dad, even though they weren't perfect, they stuck to what they needed to do. And it's like, well, I want to be happy for the rest of my life. Well, God does not promise us happiness forever. And there are certain seasons. I look back in my childhood. I think my mom and my dad, they went through certain seasons, and certain seasons were hard. Certain seasons were easier. And when you get to a hard season, you want to quit. You want to give up. You want to just throw in the towel. And I applaud our parents. I applaud them for saying it was hard.
For real.
And I wanted to quit. Like I had every opportunity to quit, but I chose to stick this out. I mean, that's one of the things that, even I look back at my parents, I'm like, I could see so many times in their relationship where I'm like, they shouldn't put up with that. Like, I put up with that. Shouldn't put up with that. Shouldn't put up with that. But I'm like, as an adult now, I look back and I'm like, well, when people ask me, like, are your parents still together? Because it's almost like a forced thing of thing to be like, oh, no, well, my parents are divorced. And I'm like, no, they're still together. And people are like, wow, for real? I'm like, yeah, they're still together. Yeah, they're still together. Like, they're still kicking it. They're still rocking.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself, it has been such a testament to me that even when it gets hard, I'm like, or I want to run, or when it's almost like, man, if they could do that, if they could stick through it, if they can continue to work at it and work on it and work at it and work at it and work at it, you know what? I can do that too.
Yeah.
I don't have to give up so easily.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard though. I remember my mother was telling me a story about her and my father. They were married 37 years before my father passed away.
You should tell them the story right after this break.
Oh yeah, let's do that. And since like 2000, actually before 2012, but for years now. Now, if you sell stuff online, you're definitely in the right business. It's so cool to have like a virtual online store, right?
Right.
Now, more people are shopping online than ever, and that means there's lots of orders coming in and a lot of orders that you'll need to ship out super fast. And that's why online sellers like you need ShipStation, guys. No matter how much you sell, ShipStation makes it super easy to manage and ship all of your orders from all of your sales channels super fast, cheaper, and more effectively. We've actually been using ShipStation since 2013, I want to say. Yeah. I love that you can import the orders from any sales channel. You can ship with any carrier, and there's access to discounted shipping rates as well. And you can also automate just about any shipping task.
Yeah. I mean, I love, the one thing I love the most about using ShipStation is the discounts that you get with certain places like with UPS, FedEx, all those different things. But hey, y'all, ship more in less time. Just use our offer code LWTL to get a 60-day free trial.
Nice.
That's a long time.
That's a really long time.
That's a long time for y'all to sell some stuff. Come on. Just use our offer code LWTL to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page and type in LWTL. That's ship, S-H-I-P. Don't think I'm saying something else. S-H-I-P station.com. Enter offer code LWTL. Y'all make ship happen.
Okay, we're back. So my mom and dad got married young, right? And so my mom was young, my dad was older, but they went to, like, my dad had a drinking problem at the time. Mm-hmm. Mind you, my dad was born in 1928.
God damn.
Yeah, so this was years and years ago. But he had a drinking problem. And so their first year into marriage, my mom almost left because he kept coming home drunk. And she said, I want to raise a family here. Like, I don't want one kid. I think her goal was like 12 or 15 kids. They ended up having 24 of us, but she had a plan. And so she's like, I'm not bringing a kid into a home where you have an addiction. She's like, if you don't fix this, I'm leaving. Like, if you come home drunk one more time, I'm gone. And he went and got help. And he never drank again.
Wow.
It's like he was done because he's like, I'm not willing to lose you. Like, it was like a slap in his face. Like, I'm about to lose my wife. They didn't have a family yet. But he was like, I don't want to lose her. So I'm going to do what it takes. And I'm going to fight for this. And then he spends his whole life with my mother. And they go on to have 24 of us.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, looking back after meeting you and stuff like that, I didn't know that story.
No way. You didn't?
You had never
oh my gosh. I didn't.
Your mom has never told me that story.
Yeah.
But, when I came along, it's like, I would have never known that. I would have never known that. And the fact of the matter is that you could have possibly not have been adopted.
Mm-hmm. because they wouldn't have been together.
They wouldn't have been together. Or she could have gotten remarried, or you could have had a completely different relationship.
And they didn't want to adopt kids or something like that.
Yeah, and he could have been like, well, I don't want to adopt kids. I want to let's just have some kids. We'll have some kids, and that's it. We just kind of move on from it. But that's not how the story goes. And the story goes, well, he chose to work at it. He chose to really make this thing work. I think that so much of that is so important. I also think that in relationships, I'm going to say this. I think we think so much about ourselves that we don't take into account the implications that go along with it. Like, one of the things that I'm glad that we did, which I'm not telling people to put their ultimate hope in this, but I do think it's important. I think that when you look at, okay, I want to get married to somebody, I'm thinking to myself, what are the implications in me marrying this person? You know what I mean? It's like, what good can we do together? And where is this going how is this marriage, how's a relationship that's bigger than us? You know what I mean? Like at some point, I want to be involved in something that's bigger than me. This may be what I want, or this may not, or in certain seasons, this may not be what I want or something like that. But it's like, but man, I literally want something that is bigger than me.
But it takes a mature person to step back and say, like, I want to keep riding this out with this person. Yeah. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to do the hard work. And you might say, what's the hard work? You have to ask your own self that in your relationship. You've got to be able to open up and have those hard conversations. Like, what do you need? What do you want in order to feel safe? Right? Or how can I make you feel more loved? Or just different things like that. I feel like if you're not opening up, like that person's not going to know what you want.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to know your needs. You've got to be open, especially when you hit hard times, you're going through transition, and you've got to be able to communicate and have those hard conversations and be open and willing to change so you can grow.
Yeah. And change isn't easy. I think that's why a lot of people just get lax, and they're like, well, I don't really want to change. I don't really think I need to change. And I may change, but change is not easy. Change is not easy at all. And just trying to understand, the importance of change, I think can be a bit difficult as well.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so funny because we always tell people like, yo, marriage is not fantasy. Like, and I used to always say this, if you want a fantasy, go to Disneyland. Like, don't try to get married and be like, because you're going to quickly realize like, wow, this person is totally different than me. And one thing I was telling the young lady that I was trying to match or looking to match still, I got to find a match for her. She's great. She's a great personality. Is that this person's not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. And you have to expect that person to come with trauma. And then when the trauma comes, you can't be so ready to leave, because I said, this person is going to be a mirror to help you develop who you are, to make you better. She said, hey, I'm struggling with being emotional, but you're cutting off the guys the minute the test comes for your emotions. And I was like, that's the thing. Like, he's going to challenge and test the very areas that push your button. And it's not your time to run. I mean, if he has a good foundation, he loves the Lord, blah, 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 whatever. And you're getting to know him, you've got to grace him and be easy on him. And, maybe he sucks at finances, but you're great at finances. And you're like, no, I need a man that is good with finances. And the thing is this, like another girl I interviewed yesterday in person, I said, I want to find you a creative, because she's a lawyer. She's very structured. I mean, completely structured. She loves structure. She thrives off of it. I was like, you might need a creative, just to bring some fun into your life, right? Because she's so stuck on structure.
She's boring.
I'm not going to say she's boring.
I say it. I don't know. Look, if you listen, I don't know who he is. I don't know who my wife talking about. But
you're not boring.
You sound boring.
You're not boring. You're not boring at all. But for the creative, he is going to love how structured she is. Like, man, I wish I had that. I could learn from that.
Or he's going to hate it. No, I'm saying he's going to learn to love it, because in the beginning, he's going to probably push back against it.
No, they always love it in the beginning. It's usually the issue 10 years down the line.
You know what? You're right. Yeah. And I think that
because it's new.
It's new. It's new. So in the beginning, he like, oh man, like you structure, like you know exactly what you want. And then when she starts expecting that out of him, That's when the trouble comes. Like
that's real.
When she goes to him and she's like, well, why aren't you like this? And why don't you ever, get your, like, what is your schedule like? And he's like, well, I kind of wake up in the morning and I kind of do what I feel. I'm more of a feeler. Like I don't know today if I feel like painting or, I may feel like recording today. I may feel like going in the studio today. And she's like, but that don't work for me.
Yeah.
You need a schedule.
I think I'm more structured now, aren't I?
Yeah, you are very,
I am, because
much more structured.
I would be like, what? What do you have on the schedule? There's work that needs to be done.
Yeah,
I got a list. If you don't want a list, I got a list.
Yeah, you are a lot more structured, which before I think we kind of switched.
We switched.
Before I was extremely structured.
And I was a free bird.
And you was like, in the wind.
What am I going to do this week?
I may go to TJ Maxx. I don't know. I'm going to go buy Home Goods. Like, you was just like, yeah, what do we eat for dinner? I don't know. I'm going to make me a salad for lunch. You were just all in the wind.
I was all over the place and used to be like, Heather,
pull it together.
I need you to focus on one thing. Remember, you used to say that? Because I would be like, I got a new idea. I got to tell you about my new idea. And you used to be like, we ain't finna do that.
I remember that.
But I needed it. It's funny how we switched, though. That's funny how that works. But
because now I'm like, well, next week people are like, oh, so what are you doing next week? Oh, well, I'm probably go to the gym and I got a soul care retreat in Wyoming, and that's probably about it.
Well, there's actually stuff that you have a list, baby. I have it running. I have a running list for you.
Oh, you got a list for me?
Yeah, I have stuff that you need to be working on.
Ciao.
I like my list. It helps me stay structured because I'm like, he don't know. I got to keep reminding you of like, hey, babe, just a reminder, get this over to the contractor. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's important, right?
I forgot about that.
I think, but that's why I'm here.
The contractor ain't doing no work anyway. Let's just. No,
they started contracting, or they started the contract work on one of our properties today.
Today, for real?
Yeah, today was the day. They started painting, so you should probably get it over.
Hope he'd start in the basement.
I don't know.
If he started in the basement, then.
Well, no, he couldn't because you didn't give him any instructions.
So here's the thing, y'all. I have the responsibility of putting together the entire basement. So, I mean, when I talk about entire, I'm talking about the flooring,
designing
the walls,
everything,
designing it. And he just told me to send him an email. Haven't sent it to him yet, but I'm getting it. I'm getting there.
And then the accountant asked for some other stuff that's due tomorrow at noon.
For me?
Yes.
For real? Oh, yeah. I forgot that we had that call this morning. But you know.
No.
I'm telling you, I used to always be like this.
You used to be so structured. And now I'm like, yo, we got work to do.
I did used to.
We need to work. No, we need to file our taxes too.
Oh.
And we have a lot of work to do. But I feel like all these years of you watching The Office at night are starting to like plant seeds in your heart because he's like Michael, y'all.
Michael Scott.
He's like, I don't know if you've ever watched The Office, but he's like Michael Scott. And Michael Scott don't do no work. He calls meetings, but he doesn't do work. He has people come into his office to pretend fire them so he can laugh at them.
So funny.
He does challenges in the office. He does not do work.
But their office, Scranton branch, was the highest revenue branch it's a TV show. It's not reality. But it was the highest. Remember when they brought Michael in, and it was like how? It was like, Michael, how is your branch? How's Dunder Mifflin, Scranton, the highest revenue branch? And he was like, see, David, what I believe is
you don't do no work.
He had no idea.
But listen, okay. Y'all, when it's time to do work, he goes like this. He covers up his ears so he doesn't have to hear people when they're actually trying to give him work to do.
Yo, when I was a pastor, I never forget sending those meetings. And people be like, "Okay, pastor, this is what we need." And I'd be like, womp, womp, womp.
And people would be like, something that we could have more in this church is structure. I'm like, you ain't gonna get it from this one.
You sure late.
That's not his area of strength. But there was people under us that had structure, but. This one,
but let's go for a break. We can come right back. I get to the point. I just hire people that have structure. That's why I like the church. We had an accounting firm. It was just sweet. I just get to the point where I just had people who had structure. But here's the thing: you know your strengths And you know you know your strengths, you work your strengths, and you staff your weaknesses. And that's what I did. That's what Michael Scott did.
Oh gosh. And then your wife is structured now, so that helps with the kids and family activities and.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know a birthday party for nothing. I'd be like, child.
Did you see the new one up on the calendar?
The new one for what?
There's a new party.
About that Friday one?
Yeah.
I saw the message come through, and I quickly deleted. I was hoping that you wouldn't see.
You deleted it
off of my email.
Oh.
I deleted it off the calendar, but I was just like,
oh, you got the email too.
I got the email too. I'm just like, oh, these. I don't know. Okay. If y'all are parents out there,
oh gosh,
and if y'all have these like kids' birthday parties are insane.
Every week.
It's like, but it's like sometimes they like 2 a day.
Yeah, we had 2 a day on Sunday. It was a lot.
It's a lot.
But the rule is, I don't know how other people's school are, but our children go to a private school, and the rule is you have to invite the whole class. You can't just invite a couple people, because back in the day, you'd only invite your friends to your party.
And then everybody else in the classroom would feel
rejected
bad.
Or left out. So the rule is, if you invite one, you invite all, right?
Yeah.
So every single week.
But I think for our school though, it kind of works to their advantage, because there's only like 9 kids in every class.
Yeah, it's small, but it's actually bigger this year. There's 15. It's bigger because they stayed open during COVID and stuff.
Oh, so but 15 people.
Usually it's like 9 or 10. Yeah.
But even 15 kids versus some classrooms with 24 kids. Like that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm just like I went to a birthday party. Took Taylor to a birthday party, and I was like, man, this is like really intense. And then like as a parent, like I don't, you want to socialize with the other parents, but then I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk to y'all. Like, I'm kind of introverted. So I literally
And the parents are probably listening to this podcast.
Oh, they probably are. Hey parents. So I had a great time at the party. Your daughter is beautiful. She's amazing, and she's quite a bowler. So,
and I had to take 3 kids because you had your Outlast program. I had to take 3 kids skating.
You did,
which is a disaster.
You had a good time.
I don't recommend this because I got 3 kids. I'm trying to get sizes, and I couldn't imagine if you took them, because they'd be like, "What size shoe?" and you'd be like, "What size shoe?" asking the kids, and they wouldn't
even talk about that. We got to the bowling alley for our
You
party.
had to know that.
The guy was like, I was like, yeah, okay, what kind of shoes? What size shoe does she need? And I was
12.
Like, what kind of shoe?
She said, girl's 12.
No, you know what I told him? I said, she's a little girl. She's 5. And he's like, okay, 5. She's like, there's no way she wears a 5. And I was like, well, hold on one second. I was like, Taylor, take off your shoe. She took off her shoe. And I was like, it said 12 in it. I was like, I need a 12. I was like, yeah, she's a little girl and she's 5. And he was like, okay, I'll be right. She doesn't wear a 5. Oh, my bad. My bad, pimp. So she put on her little 12s. And it was interesting, even seeing the kids out there, and they were bowling. I was like, look at these.
So that's easier than skating, though.
I don't know because I was here. Okay, here's the thing about the bowling that was making me mad nervous. Those balls are heavy. Even the ones that and the kids were like, look, so there was one little kid, there was one little boy, man, and he made me so nervous. Every time he went to bowl, like I knew my pressure was rising. Black people we say pressure. We don't say blood pressure, we say pressure. I knew my pressure was rising because the way he would take the ball, every time he grabbed it, he would grab it and go boom, like he would drop it, boom, and it's like boom, and like it would always barely miss his feet. Barely. But this is how he threw it. He took the ball, he would take it and put it over his head and throw it like that.
What?
And he probably,
where was his parents?
Well, okay, I'm getting there. So I'm sitting, I'm watching, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, that ain't my kid. That ain't like, this ain't how I grew up in Mississippi.
Right.
When I grew up in Mississippi, it was community parenting. I got a whooping by everybody in the community. Now, I don't know your parents. I'm not trying to go to you. I ain't trying to correct you. So I was like, I don't know. Like, I kept looking around. Like, do y'all know he throwing the ball? Like, it's a big ball, and he's just throwing it. And I don't know if he's gonna throw it backwards. But anyway, finally, his mom was talking. His mom looked over, and his mom was like, "No," she said his name, and she's like, "No." Don't do that. She's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm bowling. She was like, no. She's like, just roll the ball. Just roll the ball. And he was like, okay, Mom. She went back over. She was talking. He was like, boom. And you just hear the ball go boom. Like it hit so hard.
But the moms at the school, y'all, they hang hard together. And they forget their kids. They do. And it makes me nervous because when I go to swim parties, I'm the mom. I'm the only mom standing by the pool watching the kids.
We don't, I don't think we hang out with the parents a lot.
We don't hang out too tough. I mean,
we don't hang out with the parents.
So I have a couple friends, but not anybody I talk to on a regular basis. Yeah. But they all live like right next to each other. They hang tough.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
and they all know each other. So
but I'm like, there's a kid drowned. I'm about to jump in this pool fully clothed to rescue little Annie.
Oh my God, she's okay. Just let her swim.
Like they're learning.
No.
And I'm like,
Annie died.
No, right. Put your mocktail down, ma'am.
Annie, are you
and
okay?
come get little Annie because Annie about to get taken out.
Okay. Are you okay?
Ain't no lifeguards. And that's the thing. When we have pool parties.
You've been sucked by a smooth pool. I promise you, yo. I feel this. I feel the exact same way. Yo, I was at that party. That kid, there was one kid. He looked at. He said. He was like, where'd you get your pizza from? And I was like, I got Taylor pizza. And I was like, oh, it's the pizza. It's right behind us. He was like, okay. He legit walked right around. He grabbed a slice of pizza. He walked back around and he said that he was like, and put the pizza down. Like he didn't have a plate in there. He just put the pizza down.
And he didn't wash his hands after he touched the bowling ball.
Went back over and it was like, oh, it's your turn. Back over, he got that ball. You roll the ball.
And you watched all that.
I watched it all. He rolled the ball again. He came back. He came back, picked the pizza up, and he was like, no. He's like, oh my God, I like this pizza. This pizza's so good. And he started doing like the little SpongeBob thing. Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. For you and me. And I'm looking like, I don't know why.
There's so many germs. I can't handle this. I wouldn't be able to handle that.
This is what Corona.
Do you know, like at this skate party, let me go back to that story real quick. All three kids were freaking out about, well, not Logan. Logan was chill. He was just waiting for me to be ready. But Taylor's having a meltdown because she can't untie her things. But Taylor actually wants to skate and was good at skating, but she hit the flow 100,000 times. Logan went out and came back and was like, this is not for me. Take this off. I mean, it only took him like 30 seconds. Roman took him 10 seconds. He's like, get me out of these. And he was just running the skating thing with shoes on. And so Taylor kept falling, but guess who she was hitting? Me, like 100,000 times. And then all of a sudden, Logan wants to play laser tag. Roman wants to go in the bouncy house. And Taylor wants to skate. It's just me.
No.
It was so stressful.
I'm going to tell you what I would have done. I would have told Logan, you're not doing laser tag right now. Roman, hush. Taylor, you get to skate. Come on, let's skate. Logan, put on your skates. We're going to skate a little bit. Then we're going to all go over to the laser house. The laser tag will be over there for 10 minutes. And then Roman, I'll let you jump in this little bouncer house. That's it. We gone. I looked at Taylor. The party wasn't even over yet. I was like, okay, we about to leave. Finally, I just said, okay, Taylor, let's go. Taylor's like, Daddy, it's not over yet. I haven't got a cupcake. I walked over to the mom and I was like, hi, how are you? So we're going to leave. And she was like, oh my God, let's sing happy birthday. 30 minutes later. I was like, okay, all right. That's where we at. But nevertheless.
That's why I need structure at our parties. You know how our parties are.
Oh yeah, I do.
It has to be so much structure.
Baby. Our parties are like weddings.
They are.
I mean, you have a whole DJ there. You have a dance floor. You have.
I get a little intense.
You have like party favors. Like you
characters come and perform.
Characters and
that's true.
Like we've had a lot of. It's been a lot.
I know.
But nevertheless, y'all, we've been talking about red flags. But nonetheless, y'all, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us.
Yes, we love y'all.
Make sure you share this. Make sure you do all that kind of stuff. We love y'all. All right.